Hi, I'm Tammy Burns, and welcome back to day 3 of our 28-day Take Back Your Life challenge program course as kind of a little insert part of our bigger 90-day transformation. So like I've been talking about, I'm on a 90-day transformation myself. I have set some goals and I'm on my way to achieve those goals. But before we jump into that, I just want to say a few things. First of all, my mission is to help as many people as possible to be fit, fun, and free in 2023. Okay, that's this year's mission. And this means a lot of things to a lot of people. Fit, fun, and free. What is that? And so again, this is day 3 of our Take Back Your Life video series. And if you're just jumping into this series right now, you might want to go back and watch the first few videos that are on this channel because they kind of build on one another. So this series is designed to be a growing and building on series. So we're taking little baby steps. This first week is just kind of the runway to taking back your life. So we're not making any major changes right now. We're just beginning to observe and become a little more self-aware. And also another disclaimer before we begin, I am new to YouTube, so every day I'm implementing a new tool to improve my channel. I'm trying to learn a new trick, a new little thing to make these videos better. So if you're not impressed today, just hang in there because hopefully they'll get better. Also, if you would like to make any comments, please comment below and feel free to message me at one of the links below if you have any questions. And also, if you'd like to participate in an individualized 90-day transformation program or a 30-day Take Back Your Life coaching package, I would be happy to set up a free initial exploratory Zoom session with you to see if you might benefit from what I have to offer. So with all that said, let's jump into day 3. Did you know that your body holds messages? Tension, shame, happiness, humiliation, anger. So today we're going to learn to listen to and decode these messages that our body holds, that sometimes we're not even aware that they're there. So emotional management is a skill that must be learned. Most of us, a lot of us, I would say maybe most of us reach adulthood without the proper tools to process our emotions. And we may develop inappropriate strategies for avoiding the ones that are unpleasant or make us feel uncomfortable. Now, this is very true for me. I believe that until you're able to learn to process your negative emotions, you will never conquer your weight loss struggles. And so take this very, very seriously. Chances are this is one of the primary reasons you find yourself in this place and doing this work in the first place. So negative emotions can run the gamut from grief to anger to sadness to shame to resentment and so on. And each one gets carried around in your body somewhere. So I remember the first time I did a mindfulness activity around this, and I was told to breathe into your belly. Okay, let it relax and expand. What do you notice there? Is there any tension? Oh my gosh, that was such a life changer for me. I think it took me like 6 weeks before I could even relax my abdomen enough to really release all the tension that I held there. And the primary emotions I identified during that process were shame and insecurity. And there was a lot of it. Trust me. I've always struggled with never being enough or feeling that I was enough. And I know I'm not alone in that. I could score a 98% on an exam or in life in general and be disappointed over the 2% rather than celebrate the 98%. Maybe you're like that also. When I finally allowed myself to release that tension, which was of course accompanied by lots of tears, my relationship with myself and subsequently my life changed radically. And while I'm still not too happy with this part of my body, my belly, my abdomen, is kind of like my shame center. We all have areas of our bodies that are just kind of, we don't like and we wish were different. Okay, but I'm able to accept it as part of me and no longer feel that shame that I've carried there for so long. And better yet, I can relax and I can release that tension when it arises, which somehow magically enables me to process so many other emotions. And so today we're going to talk about a strategy called emotional self-nurturing. All right, and this is something is so powerful that I encourage you to do it, at least if you can do it like once a day or a couple times a day, or sometimes maybe like every hour if you're having a time where you're really struggling. This is a very, very, very valuable strategy. It's a valuable tool that you can just keep in your toolbox on your person at all times. Okay, it's called emotional self-nurturing. And it might seem and feel a little weird and uncomfortable, but I believe that if you never do things that you find weird and uncomfortable, then you are never going to change. And you will always be the same person with the same issues, probably carrying around the same 10, 15, 20, 30, 80, 100 pounds that you really don't want to be dragging around. So since you're here to make some changes, prepare to feel weird and uncomfortable, okay? I don't care if you're male, female, big, small, old, young. This is going to be very beneficial to you to be able to learn how to do this and tap into your body. So the first step in identifying your underlying emotions is learning to separate a feeling from a thought. Okay? Often we mix those up, right? Feelings are feelings. Thoughts produce feelings because of the meaning that we add to them. And so feelings are described by feeling words. And these words are glad, sad, mad, bad, afraid, okay, or some version of those. So here's the strategy. When you're feeling bad, and I'm going to use that because that's kind of the generic term. Sometimes we don't even know, right? You're just feeling bad and you don't know what it is. You can't identify it. You just don't feel good. So just put bad on it. I'm feeling bad. So if possible, stop what you're doing as soon as you can when you notice that you're feeling this way. Go and be by yourself. And yes, even if it has to be in the ladies' room or the men's room or your car someplace, go be by yourself and really try to let that feeling unfold. And what we're going to do is just get very curious about the feeling, about what's really you're feeling. Try to identify it. And like I said, maybe you can't. Sometimes our feelings are tricky, and especially if you're not familiar with this process, you can't separate anger from sadness, from grief, from whatever. And so we're going to learn and grow and be able to do this better, hopefully through this course. But for now, just I feel bad. I'm going to try and identify what I'm feeling. So welcome the feeling. All right. So sit down and even say welcome, welcome misery, welcome despair. Welcome the feeling and ask yourself, why do I feel bad? And maybe it's because your spouse is being a jerk, okay? Maybe it's because your boss just ripped you a new one and you're humiliated. You don't know. You don't even know how you feel. You just feel bad. But let's say your spouse is being a jerk. Male, female, partner, significant other. And you say to yourself, that's it. I feel bad because I am mad. Okay, so there's a little bit more clear description. We're getting a little bit closer to identifying what's going on. And then you say, why does that make me mad? So whatever he did, why is it that what he did or she did makes me mad? Well, because I've told him 100 times, blah, 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 blah. And I'm so frustrated. Okay, good. Now we're getting a little deeper. It's frustration. We're mad because we're a little frustrated, because our messages aren't getting through and the person continues to do hurtful things. All right. And then we begin to identify all these great feelings. Again, welcome those. Let them flow through. Ask yourself, wow, what does this feel like? Cry if you can. Now, not everybody can cry. So trust me, if you can cry, it's a luxury. Just do it. Feel the feelings. And my own coach and mentor told me one time, never bury your emotions alive. And I later learned that that's the title of a book. I haven't read the book, but just that title in and of itself is a very powerful life lesson to learn, right? Never bury your emotions alive. When you're feeling those emotions, the best thing you can do is feel them. Let them flow. And we don't do that because we fear we're going to get lost in this abyss of negative feelings, right? We're just going to go down into this deep, dark hole somewhere and never come out again. But that's not how it works. And that's the beauty of this process, is you get curious. You ask yourself, what am I feeling? Because what happens when we have these feelings and we don't address them and we bury them, they take up residence in our bodies, all right? And not only do they make us less effective and cause us to perform poorly, but they also create residual stress that makes us fat, okay? So if there's no other reason to listen to me and do this, it's because you want to maybe lose some of that excess fat that you might be carrying around. So give yourself the gift of this emotional self-nurturing. Get curious with it, sit with it, take 3 to 5 minutes, say, where is this in my body? What tension am I feeling in my body as I sit with this negative feeling? I'm angry. Oh, I feel it. Sometimes I'll just feel like this burning in my heart right here. And it's just like on fire. And then it kind of moves up and then it becomes like a lump in my throat and like this big knot. And it won't go anywhere. And I just look at it and I say, what color is it? You know, what size is it? What shape? Is it round? Is it a dagger? Is it prickly? You know, what? And just describe it to yourself. Ask yourself these questions. Talk to it. This does so many things I'm not going to go into because it's supposed to be a short video, but it does a lot of things for you. So I encourage you to do this. Next time you're feeling an intense emotion, get alone, sit, and just sit with that emotion for a little bit and let it kind of process through, and then come back at the end of that and say, okay, so now how do I feel now? Where is it now? And maybe you're still angry, but at least you've looked at it and you're aware of it, and it's not just hiding out back here, tripping up your front brain, which when this back emotional brain gets triggered, our front brain shuts off and we can't think and be rational and do the work that we need to show up and do every day. So it's very, very important to get your rational mind around those emotions, look at them, put words to them, and kind of help reconnect this part of your brain, and then you'll find that those feelings will at least reduce in their intensity. And if that doesn't happen, you know, you might want to consider a therapist. I'm not a therapist, I'm a coach, and I'm trained in doing some of these little strategies, but you know, some of us carry around some deep, dark depression that maybe a little exercise like this may or may not work for you, but you should still find a way and a means and an outlet for those emotions. And so oftentimes, and I'm a living example, I have my therapist, I'm a firm believer that we all need a little therapy at some time in our life to cope and to get down the road, so don't feel any shame about that. So I also, before I wrap up, I want to share a resource, and again, there's a link to this in the bottom. There's a book, it's called Switch On Your Brain by Carolyn Leaf, and she also has an app called the Switch app, and I used this for a long time, and it's a really, really good way to get in touch with those thoughts. She's a neuroscientist. She's brilliant. She's a doctor, Dr. Carolyn Leaf. I use a lot of what I talk about in this course I got from her materials, and I highly recommend the app. You have to pay a little bit, but it's well worth it to learn how your brain works and how we hold things and how we build habits. So a lot of what we're talking about this month is habits, and habits have very much to do with thoughts. And so if you struggle with that, then do check out this app. It's going to help you understand the physical process by which you can begin to recognize and deconstruct toxic thought processes and then reconstruct them with healthy ones. And it's over time. So you listen for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you do some little activities and a little bit of journaling, and it can be a life changer. So the book also is really good. If you don't want the app, you can always just check out the book. But this is really the essence of understanding our inner elephant that we've been talking about. That subconscious part of us that just wants to go do its own thing, whatever makes it feel good. And often we feel powerless against redirecting it back onto the right path. And so we want to understand it and influence it to align with what this higher self, the writer, really desires. So check that out. And for journaling today, for a challenge, I challenge you to at least get the book or the app if you want to check that out. You can use it for free for a few days and see if you even like it. And then at least one time today, my challenge and journaling, this kind of together, is to practice this emotional self-nurturing. And when you do that, after you do that, just journal, record in your journal just a few words about that experience. What was it like for you? What did you learn? Anything like that. So with that, I want to thank you for joining me today and invite you again to join the Facebook page. If you're actually participating in this class week to week, just go to Integrated Body Coach on Facebook and you'll see my thing, and you can request to join and I'll let you in the group. And we can have a conversation with different people right there on a platform that we can all share about this process and this journey. I wish you an awesome day today, and hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow for day 4 of week 1.